Clear your mind. Find your peace. Stoicism. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. This quote by the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus perfectly captures the essence of what we're going to explore today. In a world filled with constant distractions and overwhelming expectations, it's easy to feel like peace is out of reach. But what if I told you that true peace isn't something you need to chase? It's something you can cultivate from within. In this video, we'll uncover the Stoic secrets to clearing your mind and finding lasting tranquility. By embracing the principles of modern Stoicism, you can learn how to focus on what truly matters, let go of unnecessary stress, and live a life rooted in authenticity and inner calm. Let's dive in. Clear your mind. Find your peace. Number 1. Detach from expectations. In today's world, it feels like you're constantly surrounded by external pressures. Your family, your friends, society. Everyone seems to have an opinion about who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live. Even your own inner voice can be relentless, pushing you to meet expectations that may not even align with your true self. These overwhelming demands can easily create stress, anxiety, and frustration, especially when it feels like you're not measuring up to what others expect from you. But here's an empowering thought. What if you didn't have to bear the weight of these expectations? What if you could pick and choose which ones you allow into your life and which ones you simply let go? That's exactly what Stoicism teaches us: freedom from unnecessary burdens and the peace that comes from living authentically. The Stoic philosophy reminds us that you don't have to live in the shadow of external expectations that don't reflect your core values. Instead, you have the power to detach from them, but not in a way that means abandoning your responsibilities. It's about choosing which expectations you want to internalize and which ones you want to release, giving you more room to focus on what really matters to you. In practicing Stoicism, you learn to distinguish between external pressures and your own authentic desires, enabling you to pursue goals that resonate with your heart, not goals that are based on societal standards or the judgments of others. Think about it. It's easy to lose yourself in the noise of everyone else's expectations. It's natural to want to meet others' standards, to seek approval, and to feel validated by the outside world. But true peace doesn't come from that. It comes when you stop seeking external validation and start living according to your own values. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your peace, your reactions, your choices, they all come from within you. Now imagine your mind as a room that's filled with clutter. Every expectation, every demand, is like an item that takes up valuable space in that room. The more you hold on to these unneeded pressures, the less room you have for clear thought, inner peace, and joy. But when you begin to detach from what no longer serves you, when you let go of the expectations that only cause stress, you create space for clarity, calm, and peace. This doesn't mean shirking responsibility or living recklessly. It means being intentional about what you let affect you and what you choose to leave behind. With this clarity comes a lighter heart and a more peaceful mind, giving you the strength to focus on what truly brings you fulfillment, no longer chasing after fleeting external rewards, but cultivating your own sense of purpose. In embracing modern Stoicism, you're not rejecting the world. You're simply choosing to live in alignment with your authentic self. It's about prioritizing the things that bring you genuine joy, growth, and peace. And so I ask you, what expectations are you holding on to right now that no longer serve your happiness? Which ones are keeping you stuck, preventing you from living freely? How can you start detaching from these pressures and focus more on living a life based on your own values? It's a liberating thought to consider, because when you align your life with your own principles, that's when you begin to experience true peace. Number 2, stop chasing what unsettles you. In today's world, we're often told that success means accumulating wealth, fame, and status, believing that these things will bring us happiness and fulfillment. However, the more we chase after them, the more anxious, exhausted, and unfulfilled we may feel. Stoicism teaches us that true peace and freedom don't come from accumulating external things, but from letting go of our attachment to them. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When we let ourselves be defined by society's expectations, we get caught in an endless cycle of wanting more wealth, more recognition, more success. But the more we achieve, the more we crave, and we're never truly satisfied. The Stoic secret is to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, rather than chasing fleeting goals. By simplifying our desires and appreciating what we have, we can find contentment in the present moment. It's important to reflect on the goals we pursue. Are they aligned with our true values, or are they distractions that add unnecessary stress? When you chase something for external validation, how does it affect your inner peace? Does it nourish your soul or drain it? These pursuits are often illusions, never providing the fulfillment we expect. Letting go of what doesn't serve us clears the way for what truly matters. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition altogether. It's about distinguishing between healthy ambition and harmful obsession. When our ambitions align with our values, they become a source of strength. But if they're driven by external pressures, they only add weight to our lives. True inner peace comes from choosing pursuits that nourish us, not those that unsettle us. To apply this, take a step back and evaluate your life. What are you truly chasing? Is it worth the stress and anxiety? You don't have to abandon everything you've worked for, but you can make conscious choices about where you focus your energy. Living simply and contentedly means choosing a path that aligns with your values, not tying your worth to external success. When you stop chasing what unsettles you, you make space for peace and fulfillment. Letting go of unnecessary desires brings you closer to the life you've always sought, one of true inner calm. If you've ever found yourself caught up in the endless pursuit of more, whether it's wealth, recognition, or status, only to feel more anxious and unfulfilled, I invite you to reflect on how this pursuit has affected your inner peace. Have you ever noticed that the more you strive for external validation, the more insecure you feel on the inside? Share your thoughts in the comments below by saying, "I'm choosing peace over stress." Or share your own story, which may inspire others to let go of unnecessary desires that drain their energy and focus on what truly nourishes their soul. Let's support each other in finding the fulfillment that comes from within. Number 3. Silence the enemy within. In the fast-paced world we live in today, one of the greatest challenges we face is the voice inside our minds, the inner critic that continuously undermines our sense of self-worth. It whispers doubts, fears, and insecurities into our consciousness, convincing us that we're not good enough, that we can't succeed, or that we'll never measure up to the expectations that others have set for us. This voice can be incredibly powerful, and at times, it feels as though it is the truth. It can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in indecision and inaction, preventing us from pursuing our dreams or realizing our full potential. But the truth is, this voice is not who we are. In fact, it is often the very enemy that we must learn to silence if we are to experience true peace. Stoicism offers a profound remedy for this struggle. The Stoic philosophers teach us that while we cannot always control the thoughts that come into our minds, we have complete control over how we respond to them. In essence, we can choose not to let these negative thoughts define us or dictate our actions. By observing these thoughts as mere mental events, without attaching our identity to them, we regain our power. This principle is at the core of modern Stoicism. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. This insight reminds us that the thoughts we experience are transient. They come and go like passing clouds. What truly matters is how we respond to them. When we separate ourselves from the chatter, in our minds we free ourselves from its control. In practicing mindfulness, we begin to question the validity of our inner dialogue. When feelings of inadequacy arise, instead of letting them spiral out of control, we can pause and ask ourselves, is this thought serving me? Is it true? This simple act of inquiry creates a mental space where clarity can emerge. Rather than being swept away by the storm of self-doubt, we can observe it from a distance and allow it to pass. By doing so, we make room for peace to settle within us. It's like standing calmly at the edge of a storm, watching the turbulent clouds pass by without being caught up in their force. When we adopt this Stoic mindset, we break free from the tyranny of negative self-talk. We open the door to a life of greater peace and serenity. Instead of reacting impulsively to these inner voices, we take a moment to reflect and respond from a place of calm and grounded awareness. The goal is not to eliminate these thoughts completely, but to stop allowing them to control us. In the midst of modern life's constant pressures and demands, it's easy to get lost in the chaos of our minds. But by practicing detachment and observation, we can create a refuge within ourselves, a space where we are no longer slaves to our inner critic. This practice is at the heart of Stoicism. We cannot always control the events or circumstances around us, but we always have the ability to control our response to them. When we cultivate this inner strength and resilience, we are empowered to face life's challenges with greater calmness and clarity. It's a profound realization that in every moment we have the power to choose our thoughts and our actions, and in doing so, we pave the way for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Number 4. Burn bridges to past worries. The weight of the past is something that many of us unknowingly carry with us into the present. We often don't realize it, but our past mistakes, regrets, or the opportunities we missed continue to shape how we view the world and ourselves. They cling to our minds, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and even our actions, sometimes without us being fully aware of their grip. Whether it's an old relationship that ended in pain, a decision we regret, or simply a lingering sense of missed chances, these remnants of the past can hold us back from moving forward and experiencing the peace we crave. And that's where the challenge lies. It's not easy to let go of the past, especially when we've invested so much of our emotional energy into it. We can find ourselves replaying old scenarios over and over in our minds, wishing things had gone differently or beating ourselves up for what we could have done better. But here's the truth. The past is gone. It is nothing more than a chapter that has already been written. No matter how many times you go over it in your mind, you can't change what's been done. No amount of wishing, replaying, or analyzing will alter a single event. In fact, holding onto the weight of those past pains, regrets, and disappointments only keeps you trapped in a cycle of negative thinking that steals your peace. And that's where Stoic philosophy offers profound wisdom. One of the core Stoic secrets is this: to find true peace, you must release your attachment to the past and embrace the present. It's about making the conscious decision to burn the bridges to those old wounds and emotional narratives that no longer serve you. It's not about forgetting the past or pretending it didn't happen. It's about choosing to stop allowing those old experiences to control your emotions, thoughts, and actions. Think for a moment about a past relationship where you might have been hurt. It's easy to hold on to bitterness, anger, or resentment, right? Those emotions feel justified, especially if you feel wronged. But what if instead of letting those feelings consume you, you chose to release them? What if you let the lessons from that experience stay with you? Lessons that have helped you grow, but you no longer allowed the pain to have power over your emotions? Imagine how much lighter and freer you would feel. It's incredibly liberating when you make the choice to release the emotional weight that has been holding you back. By burning these emotional bridges, you free yourself from the past's grasp, and you create space in your life to truly live in the present. You open yourself to new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences, unburdened by old pain. So I ask you, What parts of your past are you still holding on to that weigh you down? Is it an old grudge, an unresolved regret, or perhaps a long-held resentment that no longer serves you? It's time to let go of those old grievances, to free yourself from their grip. The past does not define you unless you allow it to. By releasing those attachments, you honor your own growth and give yourself the chance to create a future that is not weighed down by past mistakes or hurts. Remember, the Stoic secret here is simple. Don't let the past control your present or your future. Use the past as a teacher, but don't let it imprison your heart. By letting go of the past, you open yourself to new possibilities, a clearer mind, and the kind of peace that can only come when you are no longer chained to old pain. In the end, finding peace comes down to a choice to move forward, unencumbered by the shackles of past wounds. By releasing those ties to the past, you free yourself to live fully in the present, to embrace all the beauty and potential that life offers. Number 5. Make space for stillness. In today's world, it feels like noise is constantly surrounding you. Physical noise, like the hum of traffic or the buzzing of your phone, and mental noise, from work stress, endless social media scrolling, and the pressure to meet expectations. It can seem impossible to find a moment of peace or quiet in the midst of all this chaos. But here's something powerful to consider. What if the key to finding your peace isn't about escaping the noise, but learning how to create space for stillness in the midst of it all? That's exactly what Stoicism teaches us. The Stoic approach emphasizes that true peace comes not from avoiding the world, but from carving out moments of calm and reflection in our busy lives. Stillness isn't about running away from reality. It's about making room for clarity and connecting with your true self. Think about it. When was the last time you had a quiet moment just to breathe, without distractions, without anyone pulling at your attention? Most of us fill every second of our day with something: work, notifications, obligations. But the Stoic practice teaches that peace often resides in the silence. By intentionally setting aside time for stillness, whether it's through meditation, a quiet walk in nature, or simply sitting alone in solitude, you create the mental space you need to reset. It's in these moments of silence that you can hear your own thoughts more clearly, separate from the external noise that so often drowns them out. You begin to reconnect with your inner wisdom, your true desires, and the calm that lies within you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminds us that nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. These words invite you to realize that the peace you're searching for isn't out there somewhere in the midst of external chaos. It's already within you, waiting for you to reconnect with it. Think about the power of starting your day with just a few minutes of stillness. Before diving into the demands of the world, you take a moment to breathe deeply, to listen to your thoughts, and to set a peaceful tone for the rest of the day. This simple practice can help you feel more grounded, more focused, and more intentional in your actions. It's in this space of stillness that you can make thoughtful decisions, unclouded by the constant pressure to perform or meet the expectations of others. Modern Stoicism encourages you to embrace this practice of stillness as a tool for living a more peaceful and intentional life. It's not about rejecting the world, but about taking control of your internal world, giving yourself the space to reset and realign with your values. So I ask you, how often do you make room for stillness in your life? What could happen if you allowed yourself to just pause for a moment each day, to tune into your own thoughts and desires? Imagine how much clarity and peace that could bring you. When you create space for stillness, you open the door to a deeper connection with yourself, and that connection is the foundation of true peace. Wouldn't you like to explore that peace a little more each day? Number 6. Stop seeking constant validation. In a world dominated by external validation, We often find ourselves seeking approval from others to feel good about who we are. Whether it's through social media likes, praise from our colleagues, or admiration from friends, the need for recognition can become overwhelming. But this constant chase for approval often leads to anxiety, insecurity, and even a loss of self-identity. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that true peace lies not in seeking validation from the outside world, but in looking inward and realizing that our worth is inherent, not defined by the opinions of others. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By recognizing this, we free ourselves from the heavy burden of trying to please everyone. Instead, we shift our focus to what truly matters, living according to our principles and pursuing what brings us authentic fulfillment. The Stoic secret here is the liberation that comes when we stop seeking approval from others and learn to affirm our own value. The more we rely on others' opinions to validate our existence, the more we risk losing touch with who we truly are. When our worth is tied to the judgments of others, it creates a fragile sense of self, vulnerable to every change in their opinions. This is why Stoicism encourages us to build our self-worth on something solid and lasting: our actions' integrity, and our ability to live according to our own values. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When we stop seeking validation, we embrace the freedom to act in alignment with our deepest beliefs, without fear of judgment or criticism. The peace that comes from living authentically is profound, as it allows us to quiet the noise of external expectations and focus on our own path. Consider someone who chooses to follow a career that may not bring the same external rewards or recognition as more traditional paths, but one that is deeply meaningful to them. This person may not receive the praise or accolades they would have gotten from more conventional success, but they are at peace because they are living authentically. Their sense of fulfillment doesn't rely on others' approval, but comes from knowing they are staying true to their values and purpose. This is the essence of Stoic living, finding contentment in what we do for its intrinsic worth, not for the recognition it may or may not bring. By learning to stop seeking external validation, we begin to detach from the constant need for approval that fuels anxiety and insecurity. We no longer define ourselves based on how others see us, and this freedom allows us to live more fully and peacefully. It's not about abandoning social connections or becoming indifferent to others, but about releasing the control that their opinions have over our sense of self. As the Stoics teach us, we can still be kind, compassionate, and engaged with the world while being grounded in our own sense of self-worth. This internal validation is far more reliable than anything that comes from the outside. The shift from seeking external validation to affirming our own value is one of the greatest gifts that Stoic philosophy offers. It empowers us to live life on our own terms, free from the anxiety of seeking approval or fearing judgment. With this shift comes a deep sense of peace, as we no longer feel the need to be constantly measured by external standards. We are able to embrace life as it comes, acting with integrity, making choices that align with our values, and focusing on what truly matters. The Stoic secrets show us that true freedom and peace come from within. By choosing to affirm our worth, without relying on the approval of others, we can step into a more peaceful, liberated existence that is anchored in our own truth and authenticity. You've just made an important move toward mastering yourself and embracing Stoic wisdom. Now, I'd love to hear how you're applying these principles in your life. Comment below with the slogan, "My worth is within me," to let us know you're embracing the Stoic idea of self-validation. Keep going. Your journey of personal growth is unfolding right now, and you're on the right path. Number 7. Find peace in acceptance. In a world that constantly demands more from us, one of the most powerful tools we can embrace for finding peace is acceptance. Modern life, with its unpredictability and endless challenges, often leaves us feeling out of control. From unexpected setbacks to disappointments and frustrations, it can seem like peace is just beyond our reach. However, Stoicism teaches us that true tranquility comes not from resisting life's difficulties, but from accepting them as they are. Acceptance isn't about giving up or settling for less. Rather, it's about recognizing that certain things, like other people's actions, the weather, or unforeseen events, are simply outside of our control. When we resist these uncontrollable forces, we drain ourselves of valuable energy. Instead, Stoicism invites us to focus on how we can respond, not on what we can't change. By doing so, we stop battling reality and start working with it. The Stoic approach to acceptance doesn't mean we passively accept everything that happens to us, resigning ourselves to a life of complacency. It's about understanding that some things are beyond our influence, and instead of wasting our time and mental energy on these forces, we can choose to focus on what we do have control over: our thoughts, reactions, and actions. As Epictetus once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This quote encapsulates the essence of Stoic philosophy. Peace doesn't come from controlling the world around us, but from mastering our own responses. In a practical sense, this means letting go of unrealistic expectations. Life will never go exactly as we plan, and striving for perfect control only leads to disappointment. When we accept this fundamental truth, we can release the pressure of trying to manipulate every situation. Take, for example, the difficult situation of losing a job. If you find yourself in this position, it's natural to feel frustration, anger, or resentment. But rather than allowing these emotions to consume you, acceptance offers a different perspective. Instead of dwelling on what you've lost, you can choose to see this moment as an opportunity to pivot, perhaps to explore a new career path, learn a new skill, or rediscover passions you had set aside. By viewing this challenge through the lens of acceptance, you free yourself from the mental grip of negativity and open yourself to new possibilities. It's about finding peace by embracing what is, rather than fixating on what isn't. The beauty of acceptance lies in its ability to free us from the constant burden of disappointment and frustration. When we stop judging life's ups and downs as either good or bad, we allow ourselves to experience life as it is without the additional weight of expectation. This mindset fosters resilience as we learn to adapt to life's uncertainties with grace. In modern Stoicism, peace doesn't come from controlling external circumstances or making life fit into a perfect mold. It comes from our ability to accept what we cannot change and focus on what we can: our responses, attitudes, and actions. By making this shift, we naturally create space for serenity in our lives. So how can you apply this in your own life? The next time you face an unexpected obstacle or challenge, take a moment to step back. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? What's beyond my control, and how can I accept it with grace? This simple question can be transformative. It shifts your mindset from resistance to acceptance, allowing you to find peace even in the midst of chaos. When we embrace this Stoic practice, we not only find greater inner calm, but we also develop the resilience to navigate life's inevitable twists and turns with confidence. By focusing on what is within our power and letting go of the rest, we unlock the serenity that so many of us long for. In order to achieve inner peace, it's essential to let go of expectations, free yourself from past worries, and stop chasing after things that disturb your peace. A clear mind cannot come from inner conflict or external pursuit. Create space for stillness, live without constantly seeking validation, and find peace in accepting things as they are. Now that you understand the key elements needed to clear your mind and find peace, let's dive into additional Stoic principles that will help you maintain and nurture this peace in your daily life. These principles will make you stronger and more resilient, helping you stay at peace no matter what life throws at you. Additional Stoic principles for peace. Let's explore more Stoic principles that can help you maintain inner peace, not only during moments of calm, but also in the face of life's challenges. Don't miss out on other ways to master yourself and live a peaceful, fulfilling life. Number 1. Freedom through principles, not emotions. Life is full of challenges that can stir up a whirlwind of emotions. We've all been there, feeling overwhelmed by frustration, anger, or even excitement. These emotions can feel powerful, even necessary, as they seem to drive us through moments of joy, hurt, or confusion. But here's a crucial question. Do these emotions always serve us well? When we allow our emotions to dictate our reactions, especially in times of stress, we often find ourselves making decisions we later regret. The problem with emotions is that they are fleeting, constantly shifting based on external circumstances. One moment, we might be on top of the world, and the next, we're crushed by disappointment. This unpredictability makes emotions unreliable, guides for decision-making. So what's the alternative? How can we find stability and peace amid this emotional turbulence? This is where the Stoic secrets offer powerful insight. Freedom lies in living by principles, not emotions. Stoicism teaches us to live with intention, to act according to values that are steady and true, no matter the chaos around us. Principles such as integrity, patience, wisdom, and compassion become the anchors that keep us grounded. When we follow these guiding principles, we don't lose ourselves when emotions rise. Instead, we remain connected to our core beliefs and act in alignment with what truly matters to us. Think about a time when you were criticized, maybe at work, in a relationship, or even online. Your initial emotional reaction might have been anger, defensiveness, or shame. But instead of acting on these emotions, imagine pausing for a moment. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. By approaching situations with a calm, reasoned mindset, you open yourself to clarity. When you lead with principles, your response isn't driven by the need to react emotionally. It's guided by what aligns with your values and growth. Let me share a modern example. Imagine a friend, let's call him Jake, who's dealing with a tough situation at work. His boss, in a meeting, criticizes his recent project. Jake's first instinct is to feel defensive, even angry. Who wouldn't? But instead, he remembers something he once read about Stoicism. He takes a deep breath, reflects, and decides to ask his boss, "What can I do to improve?" Rather than letting the criticism affect his confidence or his emotions, Jake uses it as an opportunity for growth. This shift in mindset doesn't just help Jake in the moment, it empowers him long-term. He realizes that by living according to his principles of professionalism and self-improvement, he gains the freedom to not be swayed by every emotional wave that comes his way. Just like Jake, you have the power to respond with intention, not impulsiveness. The more you practice living by your principles, the more you'll cultivate peace in your life. Your actions will be grounded in something far more reliable than fleeting emotions. They'll be rooted in the core values that define who you are. This doesn't mean you suppress emotions or ignore them. Rather, it means you choose to act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. With time, this approach will bring you a sense of control, a clarity of mind, and a deep, unshakable peace. So I ask you, what principles do you want to guide your life? Are you ready to let go of emotional reactivity and embrace a life lived intentionally? When you do, you'll discover the kind of freedom that comes from knowing that your responses are grounded in what truly matters. This is one of the greatest Stoic secrets. Living by principles is the key to unlocking a life of peace and true freedom. Number 2. Accept life's imperfections. Life can be a messy, unpredictable journey, can't it? We constantly strive for things to go according to plan, but more often than not, things don't unfold the way we imagined. projects at work fall. Apart, relationships get strained, and our own efforts can sometimes feel inadequate. It's easy to get frustrated, disappointed, or even disillusioned when things don't go perfectly, right? But here's the thing. Stoicism teaches us that peace doesn't come from achieving perfection. It comes from accepting that life, in all its complexity, is inherently imperfect. Life will never unfold in a flawless, linear way, and people will inevitably fall short of our expectations. And that's okay. In fact, it's part of being human. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacles, the mistakes, the failures, they're not things to resent. They're opportunities for growth and learning. The sooner we accept this, the sooner we free ourselves from the anxiety of chasing an unattainable ideal. Think about it. How often do you get upset when things don't go perfectly? Whether it's at work, in your relationships, or even with your personal goals. But what if, instead of getting caught in frustration or self-blame, you simply viewed these situations as a chance to learn? What if you accepted that mistakes are part of the process, part of the journey toward growth? That shift in mindset can be incredibly freeing. When you stop expecting perfection, you stop carrying the weight of constant disappointment. You give yourself permission to be human, to stumble, to fail, and to rise again. And you extend that same compassion to others, understanding that they too are a work in progress. Life isn't about avoiding mistakes or setbacks, it's about learning how to navigate them with grace. Modern Stoicism teaches us to let go of unrealistic expectations and embrace the imperfections of life. That doesn't mean resigning yourself to mediocrity, though. It means acknowledging that life is filled with both successes and setbacks, and that both are necessary for a rich, meaningful existence. So, what would it look like if you accepted life's imperfections today? What if you allowed yourself to make mistakes without guilt, to embrace challenges as part of your personal growth? Could this mindset shift help you find more peace, less frustration, and a deeper sense of fulfillment? Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you stopped fighting against life's imperfections and simply accepted them as part of the beautiful mess that makes you who you are. By doing so, you open the door to true peace. Peace that doesn't depend on perfection, but on your ability to accept and learn from life's inevitable imperfections. Number 3. Understand others by putting yourself in their shoes. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is learning to empathize with others by truly putting yourself in their shoes. In our fast-paced, often judgmental world, it's easy to make assumptions about others, especially when their actions or behavior don't align with our own expectations or experiences. We tend to judge others based on our own beliefs, values, and worldview, assuming that everyone else thinks and feels the same way we do. However, this mindset can lead to misunderstanding, conflict, and a lack of compassion. Stoicism teaches us to pause before rushing to conclusions and to consider the perspectives of those around us. By recognizing that everyone has their own unique struggles, fears, and desires, we can cultivate empathy and deepen our connections with others. As Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In doing so, we stop viewing the world solely through the lens of our own experiences and start seeing it from the point of view of others. This shift can be transformative, not only in improving our relationships, but in bringing a sense of peace to our own minds, reducing the frustration and anxiety that often arise from misunderstandings. Think about a situation where a colleague or friend seems distant or irritated. Our natural reaction may be to assume that they've taken offense or that we did something wrong. But if we take a step back and put ourselves in their position, we might realize that they're facing personal struggles or are simply having a bad day. Recognizing this doesn't diminish our feelings, but it helps us respond with understanding rather than defensiveness. This practice of empathy doesn't mean we condone harmful or unjust behavior. Rather, it encourages us to approach situations with patience and wisdom instead of reacting impulsively. Stoic secrets reveal that by taking a moment to reflect on what others may be going through, we prevent ourselves from being swept up in negative emotions, enabling us to engage in more meaningful, peaceful interactions. Empathy is also about recognizing that we too have our own flaws, struggles, and moments of vulnerability. This practice of understanding others encourages us to be more patient and compassionate, not only toward others but also toward ourselves. We all make mistakes, and the Stoic view is that by practicing empathy, we create space to forgive both ourselves and others. This shift in perspective is deeply aligned with Stoic wisdom, as it teaches us that the only control we truly have is over our reactions. By making a conscious choice to understand others instead of judging them, we maintain our peace of mind and improve our relationships. In our modern lives, we are often caught in the whirlwind of our own expectations, opinions, and judgments. We might assume that others should act the way we would in a situation, but this can lead to frustration when their responses don't match our own. The Stoic practice of empathy encourages us to move beyond these assumptions and see people as they truly are, rather than through the filter of our own biases. This act of stepping back from judgment helps us approach relationships with more wisdom and kindness. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." When we choose understanding over judgment, we create the space for peace and deeper connection. In this way, Stoic secrets guide us toward more harmonious relationships, both with others and with ourselves. By practicing empathy, we learn to navigate the complexities of human interaction with grace, patience, and a sense of calm, leading us to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Let me ask you this. If you're ready to unlock the power of empathy and truly connect with those around you, start by embracing the perspective of others. Understanding them can transform your relationships and bring you peace. Like this video and comment below. Empathy brings peace. Your experience of practicing empathy might just inspire others to pause before judging and take a moment to see things through someone else's eyes. Let's create a ripple of understanding and compassion. Number 4. Appreciate the small things. In a world that constantly urges us to reach for more success, more possessions, more recognition, it's easy to overlook the simple blessings already present in our lives. Modern life bombards us with distractions, often leading us to focus on what we lack instead of appreciating what we have. This is where gratitude, a core principle of Stoic philosophy, can be transformative in cultivating peace. For Stoics, peace doesn't come from acquiring more or achieving more. It arises from acknowledging and appreciating the small, often overlooked things that bring us joy each day. Whether it's the warmth of a morning cup of coffee, the quiet of nature, or the support of loved ones. These little things have immense power to bring us peace if we choose to recognize and savor them. As Seneca wisely said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This teaches us that peace is not found in what's ahead, but in the here and now, in the small blessings we often take for granted. Gratitude is not a fleeting emotion, but a practice, one that, when cultivated regularly, can shift our perspective on life. It teaches us to focus on what we have rather than what we lack. For instance, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by work or daily stress, but by pausing to reflect on the things we do have, our health, our relationships, the comforts of daily life, we can shift our mindset. This practice helps us find peace, even in chaos, allowing us to approach life with a clearer, more balanced outlook. Modern Stoicism teaches us that by embracing gratitude, we not only reduce stress but also enhance our ability to live fully in the present moment. By practicing gratitude, we also begin to let go of the constant craving for more success, more wealth, more approval. These pursuits often lead to temporary satisfaction, but Stoicism teaches that true peace doesn't lie in future achievements, but in the present moment. Gratitude helps us accept that what we already have is enough. It shows us that happiness doesn't depend on material possessions or distant goals, but on appreciating what's right in front of us. Reflecting on our blessings also helps reduce feelings of entitlement, which can breed frustration and dissatisfaction. As we come to understand that happiness is about how we engage with what we have, we foster peace and reduce the constant drive for more, allowing us to live with greater contentment. In a world that often ties happiness to external accomplishments, gratitude empowers us to find fulfillment within ourselves. When we make it a habit to appreciate the small everyday moments, we begin to notice a profound shift in our mental state. We stop waiting for circumstances to bring us peace and start cultivating peace from within. Marcus Aurelius expressed this beautifully, saying, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." His words remind us that every day is an opportunity to appreciate the simple things, no matter how small they may seem. Practicing gratitude creates space for contentment, regardless of the pressures around us. So when life feels overwhelming, take a moment to pause and appreciate the small blessings around you. This practice of gratitude, deeply rooted in modern Stoicism, offers a way to reconnect with the present and find serenity in life's chaos. It teaches us that peace is not something to chase. It's already within us, waiting to be noticed. Number 5. Embrace change. Change is one of the few guarantees in life, yet so many of us fight it. It's human nature to resist, to hold on to the familiar and the comfortable. But I want you to ask yourself, what happens when you refuse to accept change? If you're like many, it causes unnecessary stress, frustration, and even fear. You've probably experienced it yourself when life throws a curveball, whether it's a shift in your career, a change in a relationship, or even a shift in the world around you. It can feel uncomfortable and uncertain. But here's a simple truth. Change is inevitable. No matter how much we wish things would stay the same, life moves forward. Now, I'm not saying that change is always easy. It can be uncomfortable and even painful at times. But what if I told you that it doesn't have to be something you fear? What if, instead of resisting, you embraced it? That's one of the most powerful Stoic secrets. Stoicism teaches us that true peace doesn't come from trying to control every aspect of life or holding tightly to the way things are. Peace comes from accepting that change is a natural part of life and learning how to adapt to it. When we embrace change, we don't just survive, we grow. Think of it like this. Imagine you've just lost your job. It's easy to feel defeated, to fall into self-doubt, or to wish that things hadn't changed. But here's where the Stoic mindset shifts the game. Instead of feeling trapped in the loss, you can choose to view this change as an opportunity. Maybe this job loss is your chance to develop new skills, explore a career path you've always been curious about, or even start something entirely new. Change, when viewed through the lens of growth, can be a powerful teacher. Now, I want you to reflect on this for a second. How often do you find yourself clinging to the way things should be? We all do it at times. We create an image in our minds of how life ought to unfold, and when things don't go as planned, it creates tension and anxiety. But here's the key. The only things within our control are how we respond to these changes. By accepting change, we stop wasting energy on resistance and start focusing on what we can influence. Our thoughts, actions, and responses. When you stop resisting change and accept it for what it is, you allow yourself to move forward with a clearer, calmer mind. This doesn't mean you become passive or accept things without thought. It means you learn to navigate life with grace, understanding that change isn't an obstacle but a chance for renewal. Think about someone you know, maybe a friend, family member, or even a colleague, who always seems to handle life's twists and turns with ease. You might think they're just lucky, but the truth is, they've learned how to accept change as part of life. They've practiced resilience. They've learned to shift their mindset, and in doing so, Find peace even in the face of the unknown. This, my friend, is what Stoicism is all about. It's about finding your peace not by avoiding change, but by embracing it with confidence and resilience. So, I ask you, what changes are you resisting in your life right now? Are you holding on to the way things should be instead of allowing yourself to adapt and grow? The Stoic secret is this: change is not your enemy, it's a part of life's journey. By embracing it, you not only gain peace, but you also open yourself up to new possibilities, deeper growth, and a more resilient you. So take a deep breath. Step forward into the changes you face. In the end, peace comes not from avoiding change, but from navigating it with the grace and strength that comes from within. Number 6. Patience in everything. In today's fast-paced world, we're conditioned to expect quick results, instant replies, immediate achievements, and fast gratification. But have you ever thought about the pressure we place on ourselves to make things happen right now? This relentless rush often pushes us to forget the wisdom of patience, a core tenet of Stoicism. Modern Stoicism doesn't simply suggest passive waiting. It encourages us to approach life's challenges with calm, thoughtful responses. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, means being present without succumbing to frustration or a sense of urgency. Life unfolds at its own pace, and rushing only increases anxiety without progress. Consider a time when you worked hard toward a goal but saw little immediate result. It's easy to feel discouraged, isn't it? That's where Stoic patience comes in. Instead of fixating on the slow pace, we focus on the small steps that accumulate over time. As Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Success is not a straight line, it's built by consistent incremental progress. Patience helps us appreciate this journey, but patience isn't just about achieving goals, it's also about how we respond to life's inevitable setbacks. When adversity strikes, do you react with impatience or anger? Or do you take a moment to breathe and respond with clarity? Patience teaches us to pause before reacting, allowing us to respond in ways that align with our values, not our impulses. This mindset shifts our focus from rushing outcomes to trusting the process, which brings us peace. Patience also helps us handle challenges with resilience. Instead of letting setbacks defeat us, we learn to accept them as natural parts of life. These challenges offer lessons that contribute to our growth. Life won't always go according to plan, and that's okay. The practice of patience helps us move through life calmly, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. Imagine what life would feel like if you could embrace patience in every situation. How much more peaceful would your mind be if you stopped rushing? What would happen if you focused on taking small, consistent steps toward your goals instead of forcing immediate results? Patience cultivates resilience, strengthens our connection with life's natural rhythm, and leads to true inner peace, a peace that depends not on external circumstances, but on our ability to trust the journey. So, I ask you, where in your life could you practice more patience? How would it change the way you handle challenges? Remember, patience isn't just about waiting, it's about responding with grace and embracing the process, knowing everything will unfold in its own. Number 7. Live in the present, not the future. One of the core teachings of Stoic philosophy is the power of living in the present moment. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past, but these distractions prevent us from experiencing true peace. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Confine yourself to the present." By focusing on the here and now, we free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety and gain the ability to fully engage with life. The future is uncertain, and the past is gone. What truly matters is how we choose to live in the present. This Stoic secret reminds us that peace is not something to be found in the future, but in the present moment. Consider a situation where you're preparing for an important event or project. It's natural to feel anxiety about what might happen. But what if you focus solely on doing your best right now? Stoicism teaches us to remove the stress of the unknown by focusing on what we can control, our actions and mindset. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." This shift in perspective reduces stress and helps us stay focused on the task at hand without being overwhelmed by future worries. Living in the present not only reduces anxiety but also helps us appreciate life's simple pleasures that often go unnoticed. Whether it's enjoying a meal with loved ones or feeling the warmth of the sun, being present in these moments brings contentment. In a world that constantly pushes us to strive for more, Stoicism reminds us that true peace is not found in the future or past, but in being mindful of the present. To practice this Stoic secret, we need to train our minds to stay grounded in the moment. When thoughts about the future or past arise, we can pause, take a deep breath, and refocus on what's in front of us. By living in the present, we free ourselves from the pressure of expectations and the anxiety of an uncertain future. Stoicism teaches us to stop searching for peace in what's to come and find it in the here and now. The more we embrace this mindset, the more we realize that peace isn't something we'll eventually reach. It's something we can choose today. By practicing mindfulness and focusing on the present, we let go of the future's hold on us, creating a more peaceful, fulfilling life. You've come this far because you've dedicated yourself to living with purpose and wisdom. Now it's time to take action. Remember, peace is not something you find in the future but in the present moment. If this Stoic lesson resonated with you, leave a comment saying, "Peace begins in the present." Leave your version in the comments below and let's continue the conversation. Stay tuned, more powerful lessons are coming your way. Number 8. Accept and learn from failure. Failure is something that many of us fear, and often it paralyzes us, preventing us from taking risks or chasing our dreams. Yet failure is inevitable, and how we respond to it shapes our growth and peace of mind. Modern Stoicism teaches that failure should be embraced, not feared, as it is a crucial part of the learning process. Rather than seeing failure as a setback, Stoicism encourages us to view it as a valuable teacher that brings lessons to help us improve. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Failure is not a reflection of our worth, but an opportunity to adjust our strategies, learn, and move forward. For example, think of an athlete who doesn't win a race. Instead of giving up, they can analyze their performance, figure out what went wrong, and train harder for the next race. This is how Stoicism reframes failure. It turns setbacks into stepping stones toward success. Every failure carries the potential for growth, and when we begin to view failure as such, we free ourselves from the fear that holds us back. Stoicism reminds us that true growth comes not from constant success, but from the lessons learned through our struggles. Embracing failure also means letting go of the fear of judgment. Often, we avoid taking risks because we're concerned about how others will view us if we fail. But Stoicism encourages us to recognize that everyone, no matter how successful, faces setbacks. By accepting this, we can let go of the need for external validation and focus on what we can learn from our mistakes. This shift allows us to take action without the weight of perfectionism or fear of looking foolish. Failure does not define us. It's simply part of the process of growth. As Marcus Aurelius put it, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When we accept failure, we understand that it's not something to fear, but a stepping stone to progress. By reframing failure as part of the journey, we free ourselves from the constant fear of judgment and the need to avoid mistakes. Our true progress lies in how we respond to failure and the lessons we gain from it. This Stoic mindset can change how we approach not only our goals, but also everyday life. It gives us the courage to take action without being paralyzed by the fear of failure. By accepting that failure is part of the journey, we open ourselves up to personal growth and resilience. Each time we stumble, we have the chance to rise stronger, knowing that every experience, good or bad, contributes to our development. Embracing failure as a natural part of life and learning from it enables us to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. Failure becomes not a dead end, but a stepping stone to greater wisdom and peace. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, accepting the imperfections of life, learning from them, and continuing the journey with courage and composure. To conclude, modern Stoicism offers us timeless wisdom that can help us clear our minds and find peace in today's chaotic world. By embracing the Stoic secrets, letting go of what we cannot control, accepting imperfections, and responding with reason rather than emotion, we can create a sense of calm that isn't dependent on external circumstances. It's about mastering how we react to life's challenges, not trying to control them. The path to inner peace may take time, but every small step you take in applying these principles will bring you closer to a more fulfilling, resilient life. I encourage you to start today. Reflect on your thoughts, release what you can't control, and embrace each moment as it comes. How do you plan to integrate Stoicism into your daily routine? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more insights on living a peaceful, purposeful life. Remember, peace isn't something you chase, it's something you build from within. Stay calm, stay stoic, and keep growing